The Runaway Raft. It was a sunny day in May, and Stanley the stag beetle and Balthazar the bee were sitting quietly on the riverbank. Stanley started to build a little raft from the twigs he found by the waterside. He tied the twigs together with long blades of grass and finished it with a sail made from a leaf. "Look, it's ready," he said as he proudly showed it to Balthazar. "Let's put it on the water. Let's see how it sails," the bee boy suggested. "Let's follow it," Balthazar enthused. They followed the raft on its way. They were keen to see how far it would go. Suddenly, the sky turned dark. The boys did not know what to do. "Oh dear, where are we?" asked Balthazar. "I don't know. We seem to have wandered away from our forest," Stanley stated. "Let's turn back before it starts to rain," the bee said with concern. "Okay, wait, I'll bring the raft," said Stanley, but the little boat had vanished from view. "Leave it. You can build another raft." They had only taken a few steps when the storm broke. "How will we get home now?" Balthazar panicked. "Grab my feet and I'll fly you both home," said a voice from above. The boys looked up and saw Christopher Canary. They took a firm hold of his feet. They were making very good progress until a sudden gust of wind blew Christopher off course. Stanley and Balthazar both fell, but thankfully landed on a soft mossy carpet. "Let's shelter in that hole," said Stanley, pointing to a tree. They waited and waited for the storm to pass, but slowly fell fast asleep. And there they slept until they were woken by Spider.
"Wake up! What happened to you two? Are you all right?" the worried Spider asked. "Come on, the storm's over and the rain's nearly stopped. Climb onto my back and we'll go to my cave. Then I'll happily take you home."
"Thank you," the tired boys said, and they hopped onto Spider's back. Meanwhile, the sun came out and a rainbow stretched across the sky. They soon arrived at the cave. Spider gave them dry towels and treated them to a snack of wafer biscuits and hot tea. Later, when they were fed and rested, they set off home again. Spider carried them both back, and they thanked him for his help. The next morning, Christopher the Canary tapped on Stanley's window. "Good morning! I just wanted to check that you are both okay," the bird tweeted. "We were very worried about you too. We're fine. It started out as a boring day, but then it got a little too adventurous," the stag beetle chuckled. Balthazar and Stanley went back to the riverbank the next day. "Should we make a raft?" Stanley laughed as he asked his pal. "Yes, but let's not follow it. If it floats away, it floats away," said Balthazar.
The Windmill. One summer day, Berry and Dolly were playing badminton by the windmill. All of a sudden, they heard the sound of sobbing. "It's coming from the windmill," the snail boy said. They set off in the direction of the sound and soon arrived at the windmill. There they found the mill beetle sitting sobbing on the ground. "Why are you crying?" they asked him. "The storm damaged the mill sails. They're ruined and I can't mend them," the mill beetle complained. "Let's call the others here. Stanley's got a saw, Balthazar's got a hammer, and I'm sure we can all fix it together," Dolly proposed. "All right," the mill beetle sniffed. The ladybird girl flew off right away to tell her friends. Very soon, Stanley, Balthazar, Zephyr, Eddie, Bubble and Morris arrived. They all got hard to work fixing the broken sails. They worked hard for 2 long days and were eventually done by the end of the second day. "Hooray! Just like new!" the mill beetle cheered. "I'll start the mill going again tomorrow and I'll make flour and bake fresh bread for you all." But the next day did not begin well at all. The wind had no intention of blowing, and the sails of a windmill cannot go round without wind. The mill beetle started to cry again. "All right, OK, please don't cry. We'll push it a little and maybe a breeze will blow up," Stanley suggested, and all the others agreed. 7 of them pushed the 6 sails. Stanley, Balthazar, Bubble, Berry, Eddie, Zephyr and Morris. They pushed it around and around, but they soon got tired. "There's never going to be any bread," the mill beetle moaned. "I'll go and tell the wind to blow," Zephyr announced as she flew high up into the sky. She spoke politely to the wind. "Dear wind, please blow for us a bit, because the windmill sails won't go round and it's making the mill beetle cry." This surprised the wind, and he muttered something to himself before flying lazily downwards. He took a deep breath and began to blow the windmill's sails. The mill started to move and work once more. The mill beetle filled the hopper and the millstones ground the wheat into the finest flour. The white flour began to form an impressive heap. The windmill sails went around and around and did not stop until the grasshopper girl signalled to the wind. "Thank you, that was just enough," she said with a grateful smile, and the wind flew back up into the sky. When the flour was ready, the mill beetle began to prepare the bread dough. He put the loaf into the oven and waited patiently for it to bake. When it was golden brown all over, he took it out and cut it into thick slices. They spread the bread with butter and jam and feasted until every last crumb had been gobbled up. The Mushroom's Cap. Berry, Dolly, Balthazar, Flutter, Stanley and Bubble all set off for a long walk in the woods. They were strolling happily along when they heard someone crying. "It's coming from behind that bush," Berry whispered to the others. They saw a little mushroom crying, and he looked odd because he didn't have a cap. "Who took your cap?" Dolly asked in her kindest voice.
I don't know. It was missing when I woke up this morning.
"Don't worry, we'll help you. We'll find you another cap," Berry reassured the miserable mushroom. The friends all ran back to their houses and returned carrying all kinds of different caps and hats. "We've brought some new hats to try," they said, and tried them all on the mushroom's head in turn. Dolly put her dotted hat on him first, but it didn't seem to suit the mushroom at all. Then Flutter put her witch's hat on his head.
But I don't want to be a nasty witch,
the mushroom grumbled. Then Bubble produced a yellow baseball cap, but it was too small. Berry was next to try. I've brought 2 hats. This is my gardening hat, and this is my devil's hat. The gardening hat looked funny on the mushroom's head, but he wasn't happy.
I don't like this one,
he said in a sullen voice. The devil's hat made him even angrier.
I'm not a little devil, you know,
he shouted with a red face. But he got most upset when Balthazar showed him the red saucepan.
But this is a saucepan. I can't go around with a silly saucepan.
It's not a normal saucepan,
Balthazar replied sharply.
It's our snowman's hat.
The last one to try was Stanley the stag beetle, who had brought a top hat for the mushroom.
Oh, I quite like the look of this one,
the mushroom enthused.
But can't you find my old cap? That's the one I want to wear the most.
So the forest friends started to search for the mushroom's spotty cap. 3 canary chicks suddenly flew by. We know where the mushroom's cap is. We saw 3 woodworms using it for a rowing boat. Everyone down to the stream, Dolly shouted. And sure enough, 3 woodworms were singing and rowing along in the mushroom's cap. Give the mushroom his cap back, Berry shouted.
But we promised to go visit our friends the fleas. We need a boat to get to their house.
But that's a cap, not a boat, and it belongs to the mushroom. Give it back to him, Berry argued. The woodworms eventually gave in and gave the cap back. But how will we go and see the fleas now? They asked sadly. We can take you. We're flying to the little island, the 3 canary chicks twittered. Hooray! We're going to fly! The woodworms shouted and jumped for joy. But we have to take the mushroom his cap back first.
You mean the boat?
The naughty woodworms chuckled, but Dolly gave them one of her serious looks and they stopped laughing. The mushroom said with a big smile as he put it on his head.
It fits just perfectly.
The woodworms hopped onto the canaries' backs.
Have a safe trip,
the mushroom shouted. Enjoy the flight, the others added. The forest friends all said a final goodbye to the mushroom and walked home with their hats on their heads. The bicycle. One summer day, a pigeon delivered a parcel to Berry and Dolly. It was quite a big parcel and wrapped in pretty red paper and tied with a blue ribbon. Dolly read the note attached. It's from the centipede! Hooray! He's coming to visit us soon, and he sent us this present. To us? Berry asked. What do you mean? To me or you? It says in the letter that it's for us. It's a present for both of us, I suppose. That's silly, Berry argued. I'm sure it's meant to be for me, because I was the one who found him in the snow last Christmas. But he stayed at my house. I looked after him and made him tea, Dolly replied. But I read him caterpillar stories from the storybook, Berry added. The red wrapping paper wasn't that strong, and it soon tore open. Wheels poked out from underneath. It's a bicycle, Berry exclaimed. It's just perfect for me. No, it's just perfect for me, Dolly insisted.
All right, you can have the bicycle if you want it so much. I'll be the bigger person. You're behaving like a silly baby. That upset Berry. That's not fair. I'm going to be the bigger person and you're the silly baby. You can have the bicycle. In the end, neither of them took the bicycle. They walked away and left the half-unwrapped bicycle in the meadow. Not long after that, Balthazar the bee and Flutter the butterfly came by.
What do you think it is? Is it a bicycle?
Balthazar asked. Yes, it looks like it, Flutter replied. There's a note stuck to it. It's for Berry and Dolly from the centipede.
Let's take it to them,
Balthazar suggested. They touched the bicycle and the rest of the wrapping paper fell off. This made them laugh. Look, it's a tandem. 2 people can ride it.
Let's have a go,
Balthazar said. Hello, Berry. Hello, Dolly. We brought you your bike. You left it in the meadow, Flutter shouted. Berry and Dolly came outside. They saw Flutter and Balthazar on the bicycle and felt very silly.
Oh, it's a tandem. We can both sit on it.
And we had such a fight about it. They made friends again and hugged each other happily.
What a super present. We wasted all our time quarrelling and we haven't made anything for the centipede. He could arrive at any minute,
Berry said in a panic. Let's make him a colourful windmill. We can use pretty petals, Flutter suggested. Yes, that's a great idea, Berry and Dolly agreed. The 4 friends gathered red, purple, white, yellow and pink petals and made a windmill. Just then, the centipede arrived in a cart pulled by a mouse. The little mouse stopped in the meadow and the centipede climbed out. He gave Berry and Dolly a big hug. I see you got my present. I hope you like it. It's beautiful. We love it, Berry and Dolly said. And we made you this windmill. The centipede stayed with Berry and Dolly for 10 whole days. They went for long rides on their bicycle. They talked, sang and played a lot. They had a very good time, but the happy days passed soon. I have to go home now. I've had such a super time here, the centipede said. Do come and visit us again next summer, Berry and Dolly said, as they waved goodbye to their friend. Santa. One snowy morning, Dolly the ladybird turned to Berry the snail and said, Hey Berry, Santa's coming tonight.
Really?
Berry wondered. That's right. He leaves presents in the boots of good children. Remember to put your boots in the window. That evening, Berry cleaned his boots and popped them in the window. He was so excited when he went to bed that he couldn't get to sleep. He stared out at the sky to see when Santa would appear with his reindeer sleigh. Dolly got up early the next morning. She ran straight to the window. Her boots were packed with presents, colouring pencils and a big red apple. Berry ran straight to his window too. He was very excited. He couldn't wait to see what Santa had brought him. But oh dear, his little boots were empty. Berry was so upset that he didn't see the huge red parcel in the other window. He looked inside his boots again and again. He shook them upside down, but there was nothing in them. He was so sad that he decided to run away. Santa didn't bring me anything, but I've been such a good little snail, he cried. Dolly went over to Berry's house. Hello! Look what I got from Santa. Dolly started to worry. She knocked and knocked, but Berry didn't open the door. Where's Berry gone? I have to find him. Stanley the stag beetle, Balthazar the bee and Flutter the butterfly went with her.
Berry?
Berry!
Berry! Berry! Berry! It was getting dark by the time the 4 friends found Berry. He was sitting on a tree stump and crying. Dolly ran to him. What's wrong, Berry? What happened?
Santa didn't bring me anything, but I've been such a good little snail.
Don't be silly. I'm sure you got a present, Dolly reassured her friend. Maybe it was so big, Santa couldn't fit it in your boots and he put it somewhere else.
No, I didn't get anything. I don't think Santa's real at all.
Just then, a sleigh appeared in the sky. It was being pulled by 2 reindeers.
Ho, ho, ho!
Santa waved at the children.
I hope you all liked your presents. See you again next year.
Berry was so surprised. Let's all go to Berry's and look for his present. The little snail felt much better already. They saw the big red parcel the minute they walked into Berry's house.
Look, your present's in the other window.
There it is. It's wonderful. Berry opened the present. It was a colourful wind chime. When Berry shook it, the little bells knocked into each other and made a pretty tinkling sound. It's beautiful. Stanley fixed the wind chime by the door and they all said good night to Berry. Berry jumped happily into bed and fell fast asleep to the tinkling of the chime.